Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's little webinar. We are going to be talking about how to develop an SAB initiative. And yeah, we're super excited. My name is Tania Swani. I'm a first-year member of the Best Buddies Young Leaders Council. And this is Kayla. She's also a first-year member. That's us on the left, high-fiving, kicking this off very spiritedly. So yeah, let's dive in. So today's agenda, first we're going to talk about what an initiative is. I'm going to run down a quick little timeline, talking about the timeline and SMART goals. Kayla's then going to talk about execution. I will then touch on collaborating with SAB members. Kayla will touch on replication, and then we'll be done. All right, Kayla, you want to go ahead?
Of course. So, yeah, first we'll start off with what is an initiative? So, an initiative is essentially a project that the SAB members will collectively work on. So, here we listed a few examples of initiatives just to give you a few ideas as to what some may look like. They can be goals towards improving leadership, productivity, or even resources for community members. When establishing initiative ideas, it is important to have a clear goal in mind. And once this goal is developed, you should now establish a timeline in which you want the goal to be completed by.
So now we're going to talk about a timeline. So ideally at your first meeting, you will be brainstorming all of these super fun initiatives, and then you will hopefully have it narrowed down to 3 or 4 or however many your SAB wants to take on that year. After that, you're going to select which members take on each initiative, and then the next big step is going to be the timeline. The timeline is the first real step of the initiative. You want to kind of brainstorm all the different possibilities of the initiative, narrow it down to a few key ideas that you think would be feasible, and then create the timeline to reach those goals. Your goals can either be short-term goals or long-term goals. If you have I think it's important to have a variety of both. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Your timeline can be changed throughout the process at the SAB. We do not expect you to have everything all figured out your first meeting, the first time you sketch out the timeline. But the timeline is a really great way for the co-chairs to kind of check up on each initiative, make sure everything is going well. What we did last year in the Houston Student Advisory Board was we created a Google Doc, like a Google Tracker, with each specific initiative and the timeline of each initiative. And we had the initiative members highlight it green if it was completed on time, yellow if it's going to be delayed, or red if there was it was unable to be completed, anything, like it was just not possible. And that way, the co-chairs, me and myself and my friend Emma, we were able to kind of understand, okay, this fundraising initiative is going really well. They have everything all put together. We don't really need to assist them that much. But this expansion group is really needing help with their resources. So let's help them out. So yeah, timelines are incredibly important. Ideally, it would be amazing to have everything planned out the first meeting, but we understand that that might not be possible. So just plan out as much as you can and try to stay organized for sure. Not going to dive too deep into timelines because hopefully we all know how to do them. Okay, next up, SMART goals. You guys have probably heard about this since literally the second grade, but we're gonna reiterate it because it's important. Okay, so S stands for specific. You want to make sure that your goal isn't super kind of like diverse. You want to make sure that you have it super narrowed down, like we were talking about earlier with brainstorming a bunch of initiative ideas and then kind of narrowing it down to one. Next, you want to make it measurable. You want to make sure that at the end of it, you know that you have achieved the goal because you have reached a certain number. An example of a measurable goal would be, I want to get 100 views on my YouTube channel. And then once you reach 100, goal succeeded. A stands for achievable. You want to make sure that it is in your power to accomplish the goal. If you only have one subscriber to your YouTube channel and you want 100,000 views, that might not be very achievable right now. Realistic, that kind of goes hand in hand with achievable. You want to make sure that it is within your grasp. I feel like a lot of the time at the beginning of the SAB initiatives, we're like, we're going to change the world. And yes, that spirit is completely amazing. And we love that. That's the whole reason why all of these amazing members were selected to the SAB. But it's important to really narrow it down and make sure that your goals are attainable and they're able to be achieved within the time limit, which leads us into T, which is timely. When exactly do you want to accomplish it? So those are either short-term goals or long-term goals. For example, we had a initiative last year about resources, and our short-term goal was to develop the website in 2 weeks. And then our long term goal was to have around 10 features on this website of different toolkits for chapter leaders. All right, Kayla is going to talk about execution.
So here I just wanted to give a few tips on how to execute your initiatives. So once the initiatives for the term are established, the different initiative groups will work together to determine the most important goals for each initiative. And as Tania just previously mentioned, this ideally should be done during the first SAB meeting to clarify these goals. After the goals are completed, it is vital that the timeline goals are met when they should be. And if for any reason a timeline goal is missed, it is definitely okay. Stuff happens, things come up. But at this point, what should happen is the members of the initiatives should reconvene and determine what is the best possible solution to get that goal achieved in a timely manner. Optimum performance and to meet the goals best, SAB members working on their initiatives should collaborate and communicate often and distribute assignments in a way that teamwork will help complete the goals. Lastly, we just wanted to emphasize that in the event that there are any questions that arise while working on your initiatives, it is important that these questions should be directed right to either the co-chairs or the staff liaison in order to get the answers to your questions. They are 100% willing and ready to help you for any challenges that you face in the performance of your initiative. So, in the event that anything is unclear or any assistance may be needed, definitely just reach out to your co chairs or your staff liaison.
All right, so now we're going to talk about collaborating with other SAB initiatives. I kind of list it all out here, but we will talk about it in greater detail. So, as an SAB, depends on the way you want to structure it. But the way we recommend is that you have various initiatives within the one SAB, and that depends on however many members you decide to take on, how like deep the initiatives are, and how much work they each require. So yes, there's going to be multiple initiatives, and while you may be divided into each group like for a different initiative, it is highly recommended that all the different members of the SAB all kind of collaborate with each other and give each other input on the various initiatives. Ideally, at every meeting, there should be updates given on the initiative about progress made from last month's meeting. And at these meetings, it should kind of be a very like open dialogue type of kind of vibe, I guess. People should feel free to give each other input on different initiatives. Obviously, these are really dedicated, awesome, experienced student leaders. So we would really love for them all to like help each other. Yes. So ideally, the co-chairs should allot for this like cross initiative collaboration, because if you have like 6 people working on collaborating 2 initiatives together, it's going to be really hard for them to schedule like a meeting outside of the month, and especially if it's a super short thing. They may have like practice and all these different busy things in the lives of like high schoolers and college kids. So it would be best for the co-chairs to allot time in the monthly SAP meetings. um this should be done towards like in the middle and the end. It's not really necessary while everyone is brainstorming initiatives in the first meeting, and then when you're creating your timeline and smart goals in the next meeting. It's not really necessary then, but I would say the third meeting onward would be a good time for that little conference period to start. And then previous examples of collaborations that I just wanted to hit on really quick. So we had a fundraising initiative and they collaborated with like a high school to university transition initiative to create a paid for event with money going towards the friendship walk. And then the chapter expansion initiative collaborated with our resources website blog initiative to distribute expansion resources and make sure that that was on a wider scale presented to Houston members. So, yeah, I feel like each initiative is so incredibly valuable, but when you combine them, it can really have a wonderful result.
And so, yeah, now we just wanted to emphasize that when determining initiatives for each year, they should be something that you potentially wish to achieve on a yearly basis. So, not only should the initiatives be spread over the course of the year, but they also should be achievable like across the years. So, we say making it replicable over a period of time. So, I'm trying to like think of an example. So say for example, if my SAB was working on a social media initiative, it's important that we set particular goals for the current year for that initiative, but also that we make it accessible and available to those who wish to improve upon the initiative in the future years. So the initiative should have the ability to be making continuous effort towards. So with this being said, from year to year, adjustments can be made. However, we just wanted to note that the focus of the goals you are setting should be achievable across a long period of time.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into our short little presentation about developing an SAB initiative. As always, the YLC is here as a resource for all of you to use. You have our emails and our contact information, so please do not hesitate to reach out if you need us. We are definitely here as a consistent resource as y'all develop your SABs. This is a super exciting time, and we are definitely really eager to help you. So, yeah, do not hesitate to reach out. Hopefully, you guys learned a few things about developing an SAB initiative, including kind of planning it all out, creating a timeline, executing it, making sure that it's replicable for future years. And yeah, all the fun things, all the ingredients that lead to a successful SAB. Thank you so much for tuning in and have a great rest of your day. Bye.
Goodbye, guys. Thank you.